I think sometimes when we think of balance, a lot of us see it as I've got everything going great at the same time.
Yes.
But there is a lot to do with seasons. So it doesn't mean that when you do something you love, it takes away the work, it takes away the time and effort that you have to put into it. After Vita, I went back to Zambia. And in Zambia, the salary is ridiculously low.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Buttercup Skincare Podcast. I am your host, Noxolo Sokweba. And today I am with chartered accountant, speaker, moderator, and risk expert, Naki Hlomayi. Naki is a senior manager at the Shard, and beyond her advisory career, she is the host of the Living in Fullness podcast, a platform that inspires personal growth, leadership, and authentic living. And today we chat to Naki about how passion projects fuel her life. Hi, Naki. How are you today?
Hey, Noxolo. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Thank you for having me in your beautiful studio.
Thank you for gracing us with your presence.
Thank you.
So you are in advisory, right? A very
Yes.
busy career. And you're also a podcaster, a podcast that's doing well, by the way. How do you find the time to ensure that you keep both afloat and also make time for yourself?
Thank you very much. I mean, one thing about me is I love to use all the gifts that God has given me. And I'm always trying to understand what my purpose is. I'm always trying to understand what it is that God wants me to do in a specific season. And also, I think one thing that I've had to accept is balance is not equilibrium, right? I think sometimes when we think of balance, a lot of us see it as I've got everything going great at the same time. But there is a lot to do with seasons, right? So I always try to understand what is it that I need to prioritize in this season. So if you look at the Living in Fullness website, actually, I do speak about that where I'm saying, especially with women, when you think about yourself, you're saying, I've got careers, I've got motherhood, I've got being a wife. I have also my passions, right?
Yes.
Outside my 9 to 5. And I think what's important to note there as well is 9 to 5 is still purpose, but we can
Yes.
get into that later. But you've got all these things that you're trying to do, and burnout comes when you are trying to do all of it at the same time, right?
Okay.
So for me, a scale is balanced even when it's not at equilibrium. That's one thing that I always say, as long as nothing is falling off, right? As long as when I'm focusing on my career, my husband is able to understand that I might not have enough of her in this season,
Okay.
but she's busy with this. So you make time for what you love. When God asks you to go, He has equipped you.
Yeah.
I believe so much in that. The fact that the journey is not smooth doesn't mean that He hasn't already like carved out a path for you.
True.
So yeah, I make time.
Yeah. And what I'm hearing from you is the importance of a supportive partner,
Yes.
right? They can demand your time, but if they understand what's going on in your life in the season, then that makes it better
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
juggle everything. Yeah.
Absolutely. And communication as well. Because, I mean, as much as your partner can be understanding, do you speak to him about the seasons that you're in? And also understanding that, like for me, I try to do a lot of things at the same time. I'm learning to rest. I don't know what rest looks like. I'm actually learning to rest because even if I'm physically resting, right, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'm processing what next I need to do.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of ideas and I love to execute when time is right. So it's also communicating with him that, I think in this season I'm struggling time-wise, struggling emotionally.
Yeah.
I mean, because with chasing purpose comes like with challenges as well. So
Yes.
being able to communicate that makes your partner be able to understand where you're at. So yeah.
So your 9 to 5 is in accounting. So how did you, well, you would have studied an accounting degree for
Yes,
you
yes.
to end up there. How did you end up in accounting, studying accounting?
So I don't have a nice fancy story.
Yeah.
But my parents are both accountants, right? And I used to think it's cool. Like when I see them busy supporting each other, coming from work, in the lifestyle they gave us. So I just thought, I want this life for my kids. I want, to be able to know how to make money and how to be a steward of your finances. And I thought that came with what they studied, right? And I remember also, because I was really good at math in school, I used to love math. And I didn't think of degrees like mathematics, statistics, actuarial. I know one time in Zim, there was this competition that came out. And they say that as students, we should, not students actually, even adults could try to solve that puzzle.
Okay.
And funny enough, I did. And adults couldn't solve it. So it was a math puzzle thing. And my dad was like, my child is going to be an actuary. And I remember that time I was in grade 4.
Yeah.
I looked in the dictionary what an actuary is. I was like, I don't think I like this. I don't know what I looked for, but I don't think I looked for actuary.
Yes.
And so I was like, no, I can be an accountant. I mean, both of you accountants, I surely can be one. So it really stemmed from the fact that I just thought it was cool. And I thought if I wanted to do something numbers related, then I should do accounting. And because I always love to understand the why behind things. So just accounting, when people look at it, it's just numbers and calculations, but it's also understanding why. That's the chartered accountant part of it.
Yes.
It's now more than bookkeeping, right? It's now understanding why are the numbers the way they are. And I love that.
Yeah.
So that's why I studied accounting.
Yeah. It speaks to the environment that children grow up with. I remember with one of my guests that I've had, she has an NGO that goes back to the villages and tries to inspire children because the environment they're in is not inspiring them to aspire for more. And I suppose your parents both being an accountant is what inspired you, speaking to the good environment that you grew up in.
It did. And it actually helped me to, because as much as I wanted to be an accountant, in high school, I didn't study accounting.
Oh my gosh. Really?
I didn't.
You first saw it in varsity.
First year at Wits, I'm hearing what an asset is or a debit credit is. And I remember, I don't remember who my lecturer was.
Yeah.
I think it was Mpatlele or something like that. But I remember she was really a good lecturer. And this one day she said to all the students in class, can I see by show of hands who studied accounting in high school? We were literally only the two of us who didn't. And you can imagine how your first year classes are very huge.
Yeah.
And now it made me understand why I was the only one who had dumb questions at that time.
No.
Because everybody seemed to understand what was being spoken about. But that was the first semester. When I went back home, my mom sat me down and took me through the basics of accounting.
Oh, wow.
So by the time I was going back, I understood it. And I think I just needed that foundation that everybody else had that I didn't. And actually accounting became one of my, not favorite subject, but best in terms of percentage at school. So like you're saying, just having that background and having parents that understood my journey, it helped me to actually excel at school, because I'd have dropped out. I'd have said, I'm leaving accounting.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what's happening here. But so my parents having that accounting knowledge actually helped.
And how are you finding purpose in your advisory career?
So I believe that wherever God placed you, your purpose is there.
Okay.
I love adding value to people's lives. I love impact. And I'm not saying this from a cliche perspective, but I genuinely love to see people transformed, right? Now speak about businesses. And that's why when I'm working with even smaller businesses, I love to see the growth. I love to see the change. And I integrate my personal life with my career. Okay. So I don't find my career to be another, now I have to go to work.
Yeah.
I wake up, I'm excited every single time to provide value to my clients. The journey hasn't been so easy, right? In the sense that the people you work with sometimes impact how you show up. But that's why for me, when you take care of all the facets of your life, then it impacts how you show up at work, right?
Absolutely.
So purpose for me is, God has placed me here. What do I need to do? And I go with that verse that says that in everything you do, work as though you're working unto the Lord. And the fact that God rewards hard work.
Yes.
And just with that, even if I don't love my job at that moment, or I don't see why I'm here, or I don't understand why God placed me in this specific path, I remind myself that every single day that I'm not here by coincidence. God placed me here, and I need to understand why I'm here. So purpose for me is a lot to do with what fuels me, seeing the impact after I provide value to my clients, because I do risk work, right?
Yes.
So you go to a client, they tell you what's missing or the gaps that they think they have. You investigate, you find out what are the issues, you provide recommendations, you see them implement, you see the growth. For me, that's what lightens me up.
Okay.
Just seeing that transformation in businesses, be it big or small, but it's just seeing transformation and conversations. I love conversations. So
Yeah.
hence you find me in that space as well, because it's speaking to clients. That's what I love about consulting.
Yeah.
Being able to speak to clients from different markets, different backgrounds, different industries. That excites me. So yeah.
And is the love for conversation what then led to the podcast?
Yes, because
Okay.
I love meaningful conversations.
Yeah.
So it was actually a mix of both. So I have the creative side of me.
Okay.
Then I've got the office corporate type of girl, right?
Yeah.
So I needed to integrate both, because for me, my passion then fuels my 9 to 5.
Yes.
So if I'm
okay.
able to show up as my creative self, then I'm also able to be creative even in my 9 to 5. That's why you find me to be a very innovative person. So when I thought about the podcast, it was a lot of, I meet with my friends. We are probably just having a conversation. I struggle with small talk. Okay. I'm that girl who loves depth. Even with
Yes.
friendship, it has to come with depth. I don't have to see you every single weekend. But when we meet, I have to feel like my cup is filled, yours is filled. We had a good time. So I'd meet my friends and we'd have these conversations that I feel, I wish someone actually heard what we spoke about now, because the next person is going to ask me a question of a conversation I had with a friend. And now I'm like, I really can't say how my friend said it, but you would have loved to hear that. It would have helped you.
Yeah.
So I said, why not start a platform that allows people to share their stories, own their voices, and share their journey as well. So when you look at living in fullness, it's not about technical stuff. We don't come there, speak about risk mitigation plans or financial
Yes.
statements. No, it's about real life stories that I think, how are you showing up as your true self beyond the title, behind the career, beyond the careers, beyond the material stuff? How do you show up as your authentic self? Are you living your life fully? So that for me is what made me think about starting the podcast. It's actually derived from John 10, verse 10,
Yeah.
where it says that Christ came to give us life in fullness, right?
Yes,
Now, what does that fullness look like? And part of fullness is not being scared to fail, but actually being scared of not doing what God wanted you to do and not knowing how it would have turned out.
Absolutely.
So that's why I started the podcast, to have authentic conversations with my guests, and just know I'm very intrigued by people's backgrounds and
Yes.
what informs people's decisions. And I think it also stemmed from the fact that I've always been a foreigner all my life.
Okay.
So initially when I thought about the podcast, I thought of how I want to know people from different countries. What is it that informs some of the things, or the backgrounds that they had? How do they shape the people they are now? So yeah, just authentic conversations. And we introduce CEO's Corner segment,
Yes.
which is just about, you are a leader, you are a CEO. It's actually for all the C-suite executives.
Yeah.
You're a leader, your CEO, your C-suite, CRO, whatever it is. Who are you behind the title?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
What informs your leadership style? How do you show up every single day? How can you add value to the people that report to you? So, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's what I love about your podcast, is that it takes people we look at and we aspire to, and they feel out of reach, and you get to know these people better. And besides the podcast, what are your other passion projects?
So many of them. One thing about me, I do so many things.
Yeah.
And I'd say, if I'm going to try to sum it up, anything that adds value to professionals,
Okay.
to children, and to older people, like elderly people. So I had a Help a Child organization that
wow.
basically assists children with back to school
Okay.
things. So be it uniform, books, food, lunch boxes, whatever it is that will help you to start off the year, and for some throughout the year. So that's part of my passion projects. I paint as well.
Nice.
I love painting, but with painting, it doesn't, again, that's the thing. One thing about passion sometimes is you might not monetize it because you love doing it so much.
Yes.
Or you might not monetize it right. Because for you, the fulfillment is coming from, I've done it, you know? So I also had to learn to monetize some of the things that I just consider passions.
Okay.
So painting, cooking as well. I started Oh So Tasty, where I was delivering food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that still
I was delivering
going?
food. No, I put that on pause, right?
Okay.
Again, because I loved cooking, and the idea was to just make people experience my cooking.
Yes.
So I didn't do the costing right.
Oh, I see.
So I was like, no,
and
let's
that's the issue
this
most
again.
business people face. I mean, when I started Buttercup Skincare, as much as we studied costing as a subject, it's still a challenge for us as well.
It is. I think it's just having to learn that as much as this is your passion, you still need to realize that God wants us to have our gifts make room for us, right? You still need to make money from your gifts. You can make money from your gifts as long as at the back of your head, you still keep the purpose behind why you started.
Yes.
So I think I've got quite a few. Some I don't think I can share yet. But my husband and I are both, I mean, he's an actuary. I'm a chartered accountant. So we do have some work that we do as well.
Yeah. I guess Daddy did get an actuary at the end of the day.
Exactly. You know what? I always tell him that, you know what? I actually did you something here.
Yeah. Why would you say it's important to invest in passion projects? And why are passion projects important for me as a person?
I think there's something about like when you've got something knocking on your heart, right? To start, and then you don't start it, you still don't feel fulfilled.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think passion projects that help you want to discover who you are, apart from you living in your purpose, you're able to discover who you are. You're able to grow. You also allow yourself room to teach and to impact other people, right? And I think when I think of passion projects, it's not just about, let me start something because I love it. It's understanding, am I starting it? Am I doing it at the right time?
Yeah.
Right. So I actually had a post on LinkedIn the other time where I was speaking about how when I think of passion projects, people always ask me, do you have enough time? Because you're already a consultant. But I always tell them that if I do not have a passion project, then I don't know what fuels me or what fills my cup or what reminds me the why behind what I started. So I think with passion projects, it gives you that why, right? Because it's not just about being busy, it's about being productive, right? How productive are you with the time that you have in the day? So with passion projects, that's where I find time to do what I want. And I don't get tired doing it.
Yes.
I actually have to teach myself to rest, to remind myself that you still have another day.
Yeah.
You still have years to come.
Yes.
So as much as God wants to see you in your heels and boots, sometimes just sit at home and wear your flats and your slippers.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's a saying that says, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your... I think that's how it goes. You'll never work a day in your life. Do you believe that?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't believe that because even when you do something that you enjoy, it's still going to be work.
Yes.
The difference is it's meaningful work, right? Because there are times where you say to yourself, like I'm saying, podcast.
Yes.
I love it. I enjoy it. But it still feels like work at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The difference is the fulfillment it gives me afterwards.
Yeah.
I feel like I've done something that I've always wanted to do. I've done something that has helped somebody else. I've done something that is in line with where God wants me to be.
Yeah.
So there's that fulfillment that comes with it. There's the value that comes with it. Same thing with my 9 to 5. I love doing my 9 to 5. I hate waking up to go to the office, but the work itself, I love it.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't believe that if you are doing something you love, then it's not work. Otherwise, what are you doing? Because God himself loves us, but he created us,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
It was still work to create us. It was still work to create the world. That's why he rested on the seventh day.
Yeah,
because he was
absolutely.
working.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean that when you do something you love, it takes away the work. It takes away the time and effort that you have to put into it. Because if you love something, then to see it to fruition, you're going to invest.
Yes.
You're going to invest time. You're going to invest resources. Sometimes it's going to be blood and sweat. But because you love it, then there is that desire to keep going.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. I agree with that. I remember I also posted something on LinkedIn. And I guess I came to this realization in this year because I started a new job towards the end of last year, and sort of 6 months in, I started realizing that actually, yes, I'm fulfilled and I absolutely love what I'm doing, but it's actually exhausting. So it's important to balance between doing the work and finding some time to rest as well.
absolutely.
And how do you feel passion projects can act as an antidote for burnout?
I mean, passion projects, it just depends on, like I was saying, I don't know. I don't rest, to be honest. It's something I'm working on.
Okay.
It's something that my husband is teaching me every single day. But there are times that passion projects do not, again, feel like they're burning you out.
Yeah.
But that's because you don't realize it until you actually take a break.
Yeah.
Right? So I remember there was a time where I had a full year, I didn't take leave at all. I was working late nights, podcast, other stuff that I do.
Yeah.
And I just really thought I was filled up,
Yeah. Yeah.
until at the end of the year, I say to myself, you know what, maybe this year, for the first time in my entire career, I'm going to take proper leave in December.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I took leave and I didn't believe how exhausted I was. I actually realized how I was mentally, emotionally, physically exhausted because I actually got to a point where I was rested. So sometimes you don't realize that you're burning out.
Yes.
But when you actually take time to listen to your body, you will feel it. And I also believe that at some point, if you don't rest, your body is going to shut down.
Yes.
So even with passion projects, you can burn out.
Yeah.
So find time to rest, find time to actually understand, how can I say no to opportunities? Because not every opportunity that presents itself is for you.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because there are times that people call you or invite you for things and you don't want to miss it. Because it seems like a very good opportunity for me to meet people, for me to network.
I want to ask you, how do I say no?
You learn to say no.
Yeah.
I think so there's a way that I've had to learn that you can say no without closing the door. Right? So, and not now is not an entire, I'm not doing this.
Okay.
There are things I've been approached for. Again, I do commercials, like adverts and
Okay.
stuff. So there are jobs I've been approached for that I know I'll never want to do them.
Okay.
Right? Or even acting roles, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. Right?
Okay.
So I'll absolutely say no.
Yes.
So the door should never open again.
Yeah.
But there are things that I know I still want you as a contact, but right now I can't do it. So I do explain where I'm at. Currently, I don't think I have space or I'm able to do what you want me to do, because most times we are looking at the financial gain. But I've just learned that if an opportunity is for me, it will always present itself at some point.
Yes.
So I try to just explain why I can't do it now, but also understanding that you're not losing anything by saying no.
Sure.
You know, it's not always going to sound good to the recipient. Even for people that I invite, there are people that have said they can't come to the podcast.
Yeah.
And understanding that it's not about you. It's just the fact that right now, I don't think I'm in that season, or the other things I'm prioritizing. Speak about balance as well.
Yes.
So say no. Say I can't do it now.
Yeah, I'm
Right?
taking a note out of a page out of your book, because it's so easy, especially
Yeah.
when you're passionate about stuff. It's so easy to take them pile
Mm-hmm.
until you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, and there's just so much for you to do.
Exactly. But also, don't you want to show up fully for something?
Absolutely.
Right? Because if
Yeah.
I came here and I know I wanted to say no, then I wasn't going to show up fully.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? You're not going to get the best of me. Like, people know, for example, one thing about me, don't give me anything that's too early in the morning. If it's too early in the morning, it needs to be in a season I'm not busy.
Okay.
Right? Because I will show up grumpy. And that's why then I just turn it down.
Yes, okay.
If I actually am going to show up for something, it's because I can show up and I can show up fully. But the last thing you want is to accept something,
Yeah.
go there, show up, put a bad rap on yourself. People will never invite you for anything else because you don't know who you're going to meet in that room.
True.
They invite you to speak, you show up, you're exhausted, you're tired, you do the worst job ever. Other people that could have called you after that then write you off already.
Sure.
So you also want to show up when you know you're going to get, you're going to give people the best version of yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
When it comes to monetizing passion projects, how do I deal with, or how do you deal with the imposter syndrome of I'm not good enough? There are people who studied for these things. I mean, we're doing podcasts, but we didn't do anything in media studies or anything like that. So how do you deal with such? And in any other area that you go into that is not linked to what you studied.
So first, like for podcasts, the people that need to learn about podcasts is the media team.
Yeah.
We need to be subject matter experts.
Yes.
That's it.
Okay.
But also, I think when it comes to the imposter syndrome thing, it's very real. But I've also gotten to learn that I don't need validation from people to start.
Sure. Okay.
You know, if I strongly feel on my heart and I've prayed about something, I'm going to trust the God who sent me.
Oh,
Right?
yes.
That's it. So whether I start facing hurdles, whether I start facing rejection or whatever it is, one thing that keeps me going is knowing that if God asked me to do this, He knew what I'm going to go through. He knew who's going to say and who's going to say no. So I'm going to continue because that's the fuel that I need. I had to get to a point with imposter syndrome where I had to learn, because words of affirmation is my love language.
Okay.
Right? So even with my husband, I'd be like, tell me you love me. Tell me all these things. But one thing you also need to get to a point is to ask yourself, is it validation you want or is it affirmation?
Sure.
Because sometimes what we're seeking from people is for them to tell us, your podcast is great.
Yes.
You're a great host.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
You've got great guests. That's what you want, right? And that's what's going to keep you going. But for me, even when people are silent, even when I don't get likes, when I don't get comments, when I don't get views, I actually don't care, because in the first place, I didn't start it for people.
Yes.
Right? I didn't start for people to accept. There is an audience that God told me there is, and that's what matters. So it's just a lot to do with, fine, this is my passion. And I think with the podcast, it's difficult to monetize something if you haven't gotten to a point where you actually clap for yourself.
Yes.
Right? The only time you fail to monetize something is when you feel, maybe I'm not that good. I think there's somebody else who's better than me.
Yeah.
It's acknowledging, yes, that there were people before you, but they also don't determine your path. Their journey is their journey. So I monetize, I pitch, I show people why my podcast is worth it. I show people why my brand is of value. And sometimes it's going to take time, right? But at the end of the day, you have to know the value that you bring to the table.
Yes.
If you don't see value in yourself, then nobody else is going to see value in you.
Yeah.
If you can't clap for yourself, nobody's going to clap for you. So being in rooms, even when nobody's clapping for you, and saying that, I know why I'm here. I know the value I bring to the table. I know what you stand to benefit by having me here. And not from a pride point of view, but from a understanding your worth point of view. I think that's one thing that I've had to always remind myself. Like I told you, I've been a foreigner all my life.
Yeah.
So you can imagine imposter syndrome is one thing where you always know that, oh, maybe they would rather have a South African here. Maybe they'd rather have a Zambian here. Maybe they'd rather have a Kenyan. Or like you always thinking that because I'm a foreigner, I don't think I belong here. But I've had to learn that if God has positioned me, then only He can put me down.
Yeah.
Or He can uplift me. It's not people.
Absolutely.
So you can monetize anything that brings value.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I think if it brings value, then you're good.
Definitely monetize.
Yeah.
And for someone who maybe they studied something and they're currently working in that field and they just feel like, I can't see any passion or purpose coming out of this, how would you advise them to start where they are, right? Instead of maybe having to go study something new, start where they are and discover passion and purpose in what you already have.
So first of all, I think because the world is ever evolving, we can sit and have a pity party with each other.
Yeah.
On, even if people don't like your stuff, just keep doing it.
Yeah.
But realistically as well, how are you positioning yourself to be excellent at what you do?
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you upskill yourself? Do you reskill? Do you see what is actually the thing that is in the in right now? For example, everybody is talking about the chief value officer. CFOs are evolving into chief value officers. What are you doing as a finance professional to start seeing yourself not only as a numbers person, but as a value driver?
Yes.
Right. So yes, every time we start from somewhere. One story that I always share is when I was actually doing my articles, I had my friends who were doing their articles here. So after Wits, I went back to Zambia. And in Zambia, the salary is ridiculously low.
Yeah.
I remember when I was getting like a 3,500 rand, my friends here were getting a 15,000.
Oh my gosh.
But one thing that I've never been about is because also people are very picky. You get into something, you're saying, I want a big position. I want to work for a big company. I want to work for the top banks, the big 4 firms. But when you show light where you are, it's easy for people to remember you when they go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So let people see you in that small space. You're saying, I don't like where I'm at. Let people see your worth. Let people see your drive. And that person can actually recommend you for the next job. One thing about me, actually, the jobs that I've had, it's been recommendations.
Oh, wow.
So if you show your worth in whatever position you're in, it's easy for people to say, Naki, no matter where you place her, she actually blooms, and so they will be able to recommend you. So it's not about where you start, it's what you do with where you're at the end of the day, what you do with what has been given to you, because it can only be multiplied if you're able to show value from what you have.
I want to talk about personal branding, particularly on LinkedIn, right? We are professionals and we often present ourselves as such on LinkedIn, right? What would you say is the importance of bringing in your, for me and you, bringing in your podcast into the platform? Is that beneficial in any way, or does it sort of confuse the person scrolling through your profile, as in, okay, maybe this person is too busy, might not be good for the position, or okay, they can multitask, they have 2 sides to them. Like, what would you say are some of the benefits or disadvantages of bringing in passion projects into your personal branding?
So I think if any organization is still in a place where they're not allowing people to explore purpose, to explore their side hustles, then they're shortchanging themselves.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Because the reality is people are going after their purpose.
Yeah.
They're going after side hustles. The only question is, does this conflict with their 9 to 5?
Okay.
right? So I don't think you should look at someone's page and say, oh, they seem to be too busy. The question should be how they're actually managing to still excel at their job
Yes.
and be able to do their passion projects, because that's where value comes in.
Yeah.
And when people are able to be creative outside, it's very easy for them to show up as innovators in the organization. And with LinkedIn, I personally have seen LinkedIn to grow my brand.
Okay.
I haven't seen the opposite of that.
Yeah.
I think it grows your brand. It makes people recognize you. You get into rooms. It's easier to have conversations with people that you never thought you'd be able to have conversations with. So people are able to see from LinkedIn. They don't have to wait for an interview to know who you are.
Yes.
They don't have to wait for an interview to know the benefit that they have if they actually employ you in the organization. They're able to see just from LinkedIn that, oh, this is who Naki is.
Okay.
And she writes articles, and these are articles that can benefit organizations. So you have to use LinkedIn as a branding tool.
Okay.
There's no way you can grow if you're not using the digital platforms.
Yes.
So for me, it's branding. It's knowing how am I good at what I'm doing? What is it that people compliment me for, and what can I be known for on LinkedIn?
Yes.
So, but also I see a lot of people now posting personal stuff on LinkedIn. I don't know what people's perspective is on that. I don't.
Yes.
I'm not a fan of that.
What's your perspective of that?
I think there's a time and place for everything.
Okay.
There's a reason why LinkedIn was created as a professional space.
Okay.
And when you start bringing your personal life into it, then when I'm scrolling, I'm not understanding why your post is showing up on my feed.
Okay.
Because I want to see things that help me professionally, that help me from a career perspective. So that's why even on my LinkedIn, I have episodes I post there and I have episodes I don't post.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. Because I think some of the episodes are not tailored for that type of audience. There is an audience on every platform. And I think people have to respect that as well. Yes, let's integrate our personal life with our professional life. But I think also knowing the place and time is very important.
Yeah. And I ask this because there are a lot of professionals who are on LinkedIn, but they're so scared to post, right? Because they also don't want to send off the wrong message. And like you said, I feel there's a lot of benefit in showing who you are, but don't bring the personal stuff.
I just don't see. I mean, I think it's very debatable. I'd actually love to hear another person give their perspective on that, but I don't think you should be in that space where you bring, like, I'm not going to post a picture of my husband and I
on vacation
over dinner on vacation on LinkedIn.
Yes.
I have Instagram to do that.
Okay.
I have Facebook to do that.
Yeah.
Because those are the platforms for it. Unless I'm probably saying something, maybe that's where my business idea came from. And I'm saying, when I went on vacation with my husband, this is actually the day that this business idea came up. There has to be relevance to what you're doing. Why are you doing what you're doing?
Yeah.
Actually, I think that's what's a question you should ask yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And where can people find you?
Everywhere.
Where can we find your podcast? Where can we find you if we want to work with you, if we want to just get to know what you're doing professionally?
Okay, so LinkedIn, I think it's a good start. Naki Hlomayi on LinkedIn.
Okay.
I am also on Instagram, but the Living in Fullness podcast, you can find it on www.livinginfullnesshub.com. So there you'll find a lot about us, about our episodes, about our guests, the guests that we've had. I think some of the people, because we are in our 5th season now, don't even know the prior guests that we've had.
Sure.
So you can find us on there. We're on YouTube and all streaming platforms, so Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, etc.
Okay.
So,
and if I'd like to be a guest on your podcast, will I find the information on the website?
Yes, so the website also does have a contact us form where you can suggest a guest, or you can suggest yourself as a guest.
Okay.
And of course, because we love stories, just give us a little bit of a story, why that person should be on our episodes, and we'll get in touch.
Okay. Thank you so much, Naki.
Thank
it's been
you,
such a pleasure having you.
It was nice to be here. I enjoyed this.
And thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. I will see you on the next one.